2014 was a time of change and a season of firsts for the Weber State football team. Weber State welcomed a new coaching staff and a group of new players to the team, taking big strides toward a bright future. In December 2013, Jay Hill was named the 11th head coach of the Wildcat football program. Hill's excitement and energy sent a spark throughout the program, and a change was visible in the team during the spring and summer months. As practice began for the 2014 season in August, the Wildcats had a group that included 16 returning starters and added several transfers and new players. Excitement was building for the season. The year began with a difficult schedule as the Wildcats took on nationally ranked Arizona State in Tempe. Facing one of the toughest opponents in school history, the Wildcats put together a rally in the second half, and Zach Smith had a career night, finishing with 128 yards and 1 touchdown. The following week, the Wildcats hosted three-time defending national champion and FCS number 1 ranked North Dakota State. For Coach Hill's inaugural home game, Weber State drew a crowd of more than 14,000 fans to Stewart Stadium, the largest home crowd in 9 years. The Wildcats then hit the road for 3 straight games, beginning with Sacramento State in a non-conference affair. On a blistering hot night in Sacramento, the Wildcats put on a passing display, with quarterback Billy Green throwing the ball 60 times and racking up almost 400 yards passing, the most in a game in 5 years. 3 Wildcat receivers, Shaden Kehano, Cameron Livingston, and Kamana Kaimikawa, each had 10 or more receptions. The Wildcats then headed to East Texas to take on Stephen F. Austin, followed by the Big Sky opener at Southern Utah. After a bye week, the Cats welcomed Cal Poly to Stewart Stadium for the annual homecoming game. Zach Smith racked up a career-high 156 yards, including an amazing 70-yard touchdown run. In the same game, Bo Bolin had a 94-yard kickoff return for a TD, the 9th longest return in school history, and Bolin's second career kickoff return for a touchdown. The next week, the Cats faced another tough test as they headed to Bozeman to take on number 9 Montana State. After a tough loss to the Bobcats, the Wildcats then returned home for back-to-back home games with Portland State and Northern Arizona. The Wildcats were making plays and had seen improvement from the previous season. However, the wins weren't evident on the scoreboard. Turnovers and penalties cost the Cats throughout the season, but there were signs that the team was ready for a breakout. That breakout came far from home as the Cats headed to North Dakota for their first ever meeting with the University of North Dakota. The Wildcats never trailed en route to a 24-12 win. Senior Deontay Florence had an early interception for the Wildcat defense, and Weber State jumped out to a 7-0 lead with touchdowns from Jadrian Clark to Shaden Kehano and Jake Hawaii. Zach Smith added a touchdown reception in the second half, and Josh Burton had another interception for the Wildcat defense to preserve the win. The Cats carried that momentum to another win as they beat Northern Colorado the next week in the final home game of the season. Prior to the game, Weber State honored its 10 seniors. It was the final home game for Bo Bolin, Carl Finai, Deontay Florence, Chris Jones, Jake Hawaii, Shaden Kehano, Alex Land, Dustin Martin, Tyron Morris-Edwards, and Connor Myers. And the Wildcats sent the seniors out in style. After an early Northern Colorado touchdown, Weber State responded with 3 straight TDs, all coming in the air as Jadrian Clark found Kamana Kaimikawa twice and Cameron Livingston once for touchdowns. With the Wildcats leading by 10 early in the third quarter, Shaden Kehano made a game-saving play as he forced a Northern Colorado fumble that saved a touchdown and gave the ball back to the Wildcats, who scored on their next possession with a 27-yard touchdown run by Bo Bolin. Kehano's play was one of the biggest plays of the season for Weber State. The Cats wound up defeating the Bears 34-21, with both the offense and defense making big plays. Senior Dustin Martin had 8 tackles, including 3 for a loss, and also forced a fumble, recovered a fumble, and blocked a kick. For his performance, he was named the Big Sky Defensive Player of the Week. Deontay Florence had an interception for the second straight week and also forced a fumble in the win. At halftime of the game against Northern Colorado, Weber State honored former Wildcat All-American and Walter Payton Trophy Award winner Jamie Martin. The former quarterback had his number 10 retired at Stewart Stadium, making him the first Weber State athlete in any sport to have his jersey retired. Weber State would close out its season at Idaho State in a wild game that saw Bo Bolin rush for 137 yards, as well as touchdown catches by Shaden Quijano and Carl Finai. As the season came to an end, the 11 Wildcats were honored by the coaches around the Big Sky. Senior wide receiver Shaden Quijano earned second-team All-Big Sky honors. Quijano finished 5th in the conference in receiving yards per game and was 4th in the conference and 10th in the nation in receptions per game. Shaden ended his 4-year career playing in 36 contests and now ranks 5th in school history in career receiving yards with 2,244. He's also 6th in career receptions with 153 catches for 20 touchdowns. Senior Bo Bolin was named the All-Conference third team. During the season, Bolin rushed for 515 yards and 4 touchdowns, and also earned All-Conference honors as a return specialist, where he was 4th in the conference in kickoff returns. Bolin finished his career that spanned 7 years at Weber State, playing in 45 career games. He's a former All-American and ended up his career ranking 6th in Weber State history in rushing yards and became Weber State and the Big Sky's career leader in kickoff returns with 107, not to mention kickoff return yards totaling 2,665. On defense, senior Dustin Martin also earned third-team All-Conference honors. He started in all 12 games for the Cats as a defensive end and finished the year 3rd in the league in tackles for a loss, 9th in sacks. Martin ending his career with 23 tackles for a loss, 6 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles. 8 Wildcats earned honorable mention All-Conference honors. Sophomore cornerback Josh Burton recorded 3 interceptions and 7 pass breakups during the season. Senior Deontay Florence also had 3 interceptions on the year to go along with 4 pass breakups. Joe Hawkins earned All-Conference honors on the offensive line, starting in 11 games during the year. Another offensive lineman also earned All-Big Sky honors, Alex Land, starting all 12 games and serving as a team captain. Land started every game of his final 3 seasons at Weber State. Sophomore receiver Cameron Livingston finished 10th in the conference in receiving yards and had 3 games with at least 100 yards receiving. Senior Connor Myers started every game on the defensive line. He also started every game of the final 3 seasons of his career and was a defensive team captain. Punter Blake O'Neill also earned all Big Sky honors, as did freshman Emmett Tella, who finished the year 6th in the Big Sky in tackles at just under 10 per game. He was also named to the Jerry Rice Award watch list as one of the top freshmen in the nation. While the record may not indicate it, Weber State embraced the changes and made big strides in 2014. Under Coach Hill and the rest of the staff's leadership, the future is bright for Weber State football.